Hello. 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 Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's give me 2 seconds, please. 2 minutes. We are wait. We are going to wait for more people. Okay. So we're going to start at 8:05.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. See. We are going to start our class. So we have 8 people: Francisco, Alejandro, Blanca Isabel, Carlos, Flor, Liliana, Lina, and Noemi, right? Okay. Okay, last session we were working on uh, something that was related to, let me share the topic. Sorry, here. Yes, the workshop. And we were studying these semantic features, properties, right? From the theory of semantics. Okay, could you please remind me what is a semantic feature? This aspect? What is a semantic feature for you? This is a review only. What is a semantic feature? Nobody? Noemi? Okay, Noemi, could you please?
As I remember, is a quantity of characteristics. No, a quantity of
Yes, characteristics.
entities that
Mhm.
that involve one kind of
Okay, it is frozen. It is frozen now. Can you listen to me? Oh my
that
gosh.
belong
Sorry.
to one.
Sorry, but I couldn't understand. Can you listen to me?
Hello.
Hello, I can listen. Okay, okay. Sorry, I cannot share today the,
Listen.
sorry, I cannot share today the screen. Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I cannot share today the screen because something is happening with the connection. It is not as strong as I needed. Okay, but I was trying to listen to you, Noemi, but actually the connection was broken. Could you please repeat?
Yes, it's a quantity of characteristics that involve one specific group of things or entities.
Okay, very good. So we have that as a semantic feature. But I would like to know, according to what you have studied, let me see, because there are a lot of noise. Okay, according to what you studied, my question is, what is sense?
What is sense?
Yes, the question is for everybody, because this is something that you have analyzed in on the videos and you have read
Mhm.
of the texts, right? So what is,
Yeah, teacher, good evening.
hello Alejandro?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Teacher. Uh, well, maybe sense is about the literal meaning that the word has. So it's like the mental image that the person has about the object that's talking about.
okay. So do you agree, the rest of you? Anything
Teacher, is the
else
interpretation that we give one sentence.
to one sentence? Okay, so we have
The
here to
meaning
the,
of the sentence according to the. Sorry.
hmm, no, that we have here two definitions, because you say the meaning of the sentence is the sense or the interpretation of the sentence. And Alejandro is saying that it is like,
The interpretation. Yes.
Is the interpretation of the sense of the sentences that belongs to the part of the sense and doesn't have a reference.
okay, yeah, okay. So we have here this kind of, let me see, let me see. Yes, this explanation about sense. So pay attention to the explanation of sense, because sense is different from meaning. Okay, so we cannot use that's the word meaning to explain the sense in that sense. Sorry for the sentence, but in that sense, what is meaning? Because we have this concept as well, meaning, sense. What is meaning? Hello.
The sentence of the word.
Sorry, I couldn't listen, Francisco. It was like chunking. Communication is chunk. Sorry for that. Could you please repeat? Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Can you
Can you hear
listen?
me, teacher?
Yes, yes, yes. I can listen. Let me see.
Okay, teacher. Isn't the meaning is the interpretation of the word of the or a sentence. For instance, there are words in English that has the same spelling but different meanings. So it isn't about meaning; it's about interpretation.
So it is interpretation.
For is for instance, I guess a phrase like observe have the same writing but different meanings. So it's the interpretation that we give to these meanings. No, I guess.
Teacher, sorry to interrupt you. So you're saying about sense, right?
I am talking about, okay, we were talking about sense and you gave an explanation about sense. But now we are trying to define what meaning is. So Giancarlo says sense is the relation to other expression within the language. Okay?
All
But
right. So your question is what is meaning, right?
what is meaning?
Okay.
That's my question.
So meaning would be the intention that the speaker or maybe like the mental image that the people who are going to, I mean, that are going to be involved into the speech, that they have about the words that they are talking about. That's,
Okay, so you say the mental image. Those
yeah.
are,
But I would think that maybe meaning is like the relationship between sense and meaning at the moment of the speech.
mm-hmm. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm going to show you here. Okay, and the next question is, what is reference? What is reference?
Is the place or the people, place or people in the sentences involved.
Mm, place of people or people.
For instance, places or people, or
Mm-hmm.
the subject can be
Or
animals.
things.
Not
Could
bad.
be an object too, maybe. For example, you were
Yes.
talking about a country. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, teacher.
Right.
Your question is about the reference or a reference?
No, the
Reference.
reference.
The
Reference.
reference is the relationship that that has like the word that the person is using, and maybe the context that the
Mm-hmm.
person is using with that expression.
Okay, so as you can see, everything has to do with the relationships that are established in different directions, right? Different, different relationships. So Giancarlo is explaining here. Sense is the relation to other expressions with the language, and reference is the relation between the word with the real word entity. So it is established relationship there. I'm going to show you, and Carlos Eduardo, what the relation that exists. Okay, yes, but I'm going to try to show you because the connection is not that strong. But let me see if it is possible. Okay, I'm going to try to share the screen. Okay, can you see this presentation?
Yep.
Okay, let me see if
Yes,
it
teacher.
is possible to see the presentation about meaning and everything. So, can you see the presentation now?
Yes, I see it.
Yes,
Okay, right.
teacher.
Yes,
Very good.
teacher.
Very good. So, here we have a definition of meaning. So, Sandra, could you please read this slide?
Okay, what is meaning? Awareness of natural language. A noise that I make when I speak or a scroll that I produce when I write words in English or a sign language gesture I make are physical objects that convey meanings. They are about something. We
Okay.
use continue.
Continue, continue.
We use language to communicate, to talk about things in the world, people and their properties, relation between people, events, in short, about the way the world is, should be, could have been.
So, if you pay attention to this slide, what it is says is that almost everything that you say or you do has a meaning. It means there is something that is conveyed, right? So it is understandable between the two, like let's say talking about communication, uh, the the two sides of the communication, right? So there is a convey meaning. So if you say something or if you do something, you are going to understand what the other person implies, the implication of that, right? Because there is something conveyed and it becomes in meaning. Yeah. Uh, and we use the language in order to communicate with everybody, as you know, in different ways. Even they mention here, oh, it is mentioned here, sign language. Sign language is part also of language. So every single sign has a meaning, right? Okay, let's continue. Let me see. Okay, here. Okay, Francisco, could you please read?
Okay, teacher. Semantics involves the most abstract level of linguistic analysis, since we cannot see or observe meaning as we can observe and record sounds. Meaning is related very closely to the human capacity to think logically and to understand. So when we try to analyze meaning, we are trying to analyze our own capacity to think and understand our own ability to create meaning.
So if you pay attention to the first bullet, what they say is that meaning is an abstraction from, okay, let's see, it's like something that it is not physically seen. As we could see in the previous one, it is something that is conveyed, right? So it's an abstraction. We cannot see that I could see. We cannot say that we could see the meaning of
The
something.
meaning.
It is not possible. So here in the second bullet, you say is related very closely to the human capacity to think logically and to understand. So there are cognitive levels in here, cognitive levels that we have in the semantic aspect. So it is one of the difference with this field of the linguistics and the other fields that it has to do directly with cognitive processes, right? Meaning, or to establish the meaning of something, it has to do with cognitive process as well.
Cognitive.
Mhm. To the ability to create, to the ability to think and understand, and even to analyze. That those are cognitive processes as well. Okay, so can we define meanings in terms of their physical properties? When we talk about physical properties, we are talking about the reality, and we have to pay attention to those physical properties. But the question is if we can define meanings in terms of their physical properties. So for example, it says here, linguistic forms usually lack any physical resemblance with the entities that they stand for. Can you see the two pictures? Look at this picture, the first one. Can you see that? What is the relationship? Hmm. Hello.
Yes.
Maybe to your question, teacher, it's a little bit difficult, but I think that doesn't matter. I mean, meaning that you're trying to use doesn't have like a physical space in the real world. It is associated to certain kind of mental images, and in that case, that would complete like the two parts that we have, like the mental image and like the word that we use to represent it in the real world. So in that case, the only difference that would be that it is replaced for something that represents that type of words, but it has a meaning, however.
Okay, yes, you're good. You are very right. However, what I was trying to explain in here has to do not only with the mental image, but the relationship between that mental image and the word. Yeah, as you can see here, the word and the figure, right? We can see here the cat, and we can see here a picture of a cat. But the question is, what are the physical properties of the cat? What are the physical properties? Let's think about the,
4 legs.
yes,
Mammal.
yeah,
Animal.
and a mammal animal, yeah,
Feline.
okay, it's a felon. And there are other characteristics that you can add to the cat, right? That's, for example, I don't know what they say here. A head, yes, and it makes meow. Yeah, but now, which one of those characteristics that you have said is related, directly related to the word cat? Is
Just
there
the
any?
ones who just the ones who are specifically generally for all the cats in the world.
But
I wouldn't say there are any relations in between the
very good.
words and what they represent, because if we're analyzing the language from English itself, we could say cat and dog are three words, are words made up three letters to designate animals. But when we
Mm,
analyze language, we find that this is an arbitrary selection.
exactly.
So I wouldn't say that there is a direct relationship between the physical properties. In this case, there is a physical property in the referent and also the linguistic form, which is the sound that we produce when we communicate, meaning by speaking, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to give you another example related to what Giancarlo is saying. Um, what comes to your mind? What comes to your mind when I say neko? Neko.
Sabon,
Sorry?
sabon, sabon. How I can say it?
How do you say that in Spanish?
Ah,
Ah, jabón.
yes.
Okay, neko. Neko.
That's caught in Japanese, but nothing comes up to my mind.
Yes, it is Japanese. And it is exactly this animal. You see?
Ah,
So this example shows you that if you don't know the referent, you don't understand the meaning. It's because there is not any relationship between the word, as Giancarlo was explaining, the word doesn't have any relationship with the physical properties, right? If there were that relationship, you could understand many words, right? But there is not a relationship. It's just because you understand the referent, the animal, that you understand the meaning. And the same happens with this, with the second image, with the pie. Because you understand the referent and you have seen the referent, you understand the meaning. But there is not any relationship between the word pie and the object and the piece of cake or pie that you have there. Okay, the sign selection is arbitrary. Very good. This is one of the properties of the sign. So the selection is arbitrary. So it is because, okay, I am explaining this because we have to establish the meaning, not because of the physical properties or the properties of something, but because of a convention. Yeah, this is something that we have already said in the previous one. There is a convention, and it is because we understand this word in English now or in Spanish that we understand what we are talking about. Is it clear so far?
yes.
Okay, so we can say that meaning also uh, has is social constructed. Meaning is social constructed, right? You cannot create the meaning on your own. Never. If something means so for you, is because it is constructed socially, and is because you have thought about that. Okay. Okay. So here, okay, there is the explanation. Arbitrariness, according to Saussure, there is no relationship between the way a word is pronounced or the or signed or the word and its meaning. There is not any relationship. Okay, and is one of the defining properties of human language. Okay, so it's the society who defines. Okay, so language and the word. Okay. In characterizing knowledge of meaning, we also have the problem of distinguish linguistic knowledge from world knowledge. We have that dichotomy, the linguistic knowledge and the world knowledge. For example, what is the meaning of the word man or ostrich? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of the word man?
A human being.
What
Male
else?
human.
Yes, a male human being. An ostrich?
A male human being from a specific place.
Ostrich?
I'm sorry. No, I didn't understand the word. I thought it was a nationality.
No. Yes, we could notice that. Okay, no, but it is not. What is an ostrich? An animal that looks like a big bird. Giancarlo says, big, big, no, bird with a long neck. Okay, yes, very good. So let's continue with this. Okay, is your knowledge of the meaning independent of your experience of the word? It means when you read ostrich, something, an image comes to your mind.
No, if I don't know the
Knowledge of
reference.
the
Very
meaning
good.
independent.
If you don't know the reference, if you don't know what is in the word, you cannot see what is this one, right? So is the knowledge of the meaning independent of the experience of the word?
No, because everything we learn it from the experience, and we
Very good.
assign uh, a sign for that and a word for that.
Very good. Exactly. Right? The first word comes to your mind very easily because you experience as you have experienced the word. Right? But the second one, for some of you, were kind of complicated. Just because you didn't remember or you didn't understand the reference. Or you didn't know the reference. Yeah? But okay. So are you born with an innate knowledge of such words? These two? Something innate? Maybe something that comes with
No,
you?
Not at all.
No.
everything
Not
is
at
with
all.
experience.
Everything is experience and everything is social constructed.
Construction.
Mhm. Very good. So here there is a relationship between the thoughts and the word, right? There is a triangle here, and we have here the semantics. So there are some concepts, and there are the things that are there in the world, right? And this relationship is the one that is in charge of the semantics, the relation between these concepts and the things, right? So how do we account for the relationship between words and concepts? How do we decode the meaning of complex sentence? How is linguistic meaning related to the word? So these kind of questions are the ones that semantics are going to answer, right? The relationship between words and concepts, the meaning of the complex sentences, and the linguistic meaning related to the word. Those are the things that we have to answer through the semantics. Yep. Okay. So here we have an indirect relationship between word and world, right? So we have here the word, and we have here things in the world. This is the referent. So we have here a concept, a thought, an idea, a sense, possibly an image, something, right? It is in your mind. So when I say house, is this the house that comes to your mind? Yes? This is the house that comes to your mind when I say
No,
house?
no, no.
No, no,
My house comes.
because
A
No.
it
general
is
house.
different.
No,
Yes,
no,
no.
but it has some specific characteristics that every house has.
Exactly. There are some features that the houses share, but everybody everybody thinks about different houses of different houses. Yeah. Let me see what it depends on our experience. Very good. Or maybe on the kind of image that you are used to have in your mind. Because when I think about house, I don't think of my house. I don't think about my house. The image that comes to my mind is like the house that is on the books, and not mine. Okay, but this is my reference. Okay, my reference. So here, pay attention to this expression. Gold is getting more and more expensive. What idea, concept, thought, or image do you think of? Do you think of when you hear this sentence? Gold is getting more and more expensive. What is your image, idea, concept, thought, or image when you listen to this? This is something that you can answer on your own. For every person, the word goal evokes a different picture, idea, concept, etc. It's the same that happens with the house. Yet, that doesn't prevent us all from using the word with the same meaning, right? So the idea of goal is the same, but the referent could be different. So the meaning is the same, but the referent is different. This means that the word goal applies to something general or possibly even universal, right? So here we have three different pictures of the goal. Some of you could think about the goal in this way, in the way of rings or earrings or whatever, in the form of this. I don't remember how to say lingote, but like lingote, and or in the natural form, or in any other form. So the idea or the image is different, could be different, but the meaning is the same. And the same happens with the house, as I told you. We have here even the White House. This is a Japanese house, another kind of house, a very particular house, flats, or a house in the country. Yeah, so different references. Go in God. Ah, okay, right. Thank you, Giancarlo. Giancarlo is very fast looking for the words that I don't know. Okay, where is meaning? So the meaning of word cannot be derived from their physical properties. We said that. Okay, there is not a relationship with the physical properties. It cannot be reduced to the real world objects or their perception, because every single person has different perceptions, and there are many references about this. And it cannot be reduced to the particular image in my or your mind. Okay, different images. The meaning of words is to be derived from the relations between words, concepts, and things in the real world. So you can see here the magic word is relation, right? So the meaning is establishes a relation between the word and the concept. And the things in the real world. So it is like the previous one. The word or the concept with the things in the real world. Okay? This is a conception because I have my issues with some words that also have meanings, but they are not observable in the real world. But anyway, they are socially constructed and we can understand it, right? Like, for example, the feelings. They have a meaning. Okay, but let's see. Let's continue. This is one of what is meaning actually. And here we have levels of meaning. We have sentence expressions. So we have the linguistic meaning of the sentence or utterance meanings, so meanings of the sentence in a particular context. This sentence expression that is related to the linguistic meaning it is a part of the semantics, and when it is an utterance meaning, and you remember what an utterance is, it has to do with the pragmatics. Yep. So we have here the two dimensions of the meaning, from the sentence or expression, or for the utterance. Okay. Okay. I don't know if you have any questions so far. Questions? Let me see the chat. In the video, it says there's also word meaning as a level. Yes, this is word meaning. The word meaning is exactly what we have been analyzing, but also, and it is also related to semantics. Yeah, and the expression meaning is related also to semantics from the the only the structure. I mean the sentence. Remember that the sentence is something that is there written, or it belongs to to an utterance, but it is not an utterance. But when it is an utterance, only when it is an utterance, even if it is a word, remember that it's an utterance, it belongs to the part of semantics. Sorry, pragmatics. Okay, so here we have expression meaning. So the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences taken out of the context, in their meaning general sense, constitute the level of meaning. So, as you were saying, we have words, phrases, and sentences. Remember that the sentence is composed by phrases, and the phrase is composed by words. So we can analyze the meaning in these three levels. Okay, so covers words meaning and sentence meanings. So the expression meaning covers the two things, the word meaning and the sentence meaning, as Giancarlo was saying. And we have two different kind of meanings, the literal and the conventionalized meaning. Yeah, because remember that we have two kind of meanings here. The literal, that it comes or that you can find, if we are talking about words, you can find this meaning in the dictionary, or the conventionalized meaning, that it is the one that you only understand because you convey that meaning with others, right? Is it clear, this distinction?
Yeah, would be like the same difference between reference and sense. So like the literal
Mm,
no would has to do with would have to do with the sense, and the conventionalized would have to do with reference.
okay, but here we have literal meaning. Let's, for example, mm, let me think about. mm, okay, let's think about the following word in Spanish: pasta. What is pasta?
Food.
Okay, this is the literal meaning. Okay, food. But in other places of the world, there is a conventionalized meaning that implies, so there is an implication here, that pasta is money, right? So the meaning here is conventionalized, but the literal one could be another one. Yeah, can you give me another example? Ah, yes. Another Another example. Think of another example. It doesn't matter if it is in Spanish, because we want to
In
understand the
Spanish, teacher,
concept. Yes, it could be in Spanish.
pollo.
Pollo?
Pitillo.
Pollo.
Yeah, explain.
Puede ser pollo o puede ser alguien muy joven. No. O
Oh,
alguien muy joven. Dice, por ejemplo, ese muchacho es muy pollo. O, por ejemplo, Carlos es muy pollo. Para decir que es de edad, pues, menor.
Where does it happen? I mean, where do you guys use that?
yes. Some people
O
use that.
mota.
Mota?
Never
Or
heard of it
maybe
here.
Wait,
Por
wait.
ejemplo, una mota puede ser una mota de lana, ¿sí?
Yes.
O en México mota es marihuana.
Okay, right. So that's
Algo
conventional,
así.
right? Yes, like here in Colombia,
Yes, teacher.
the
porro.
word.
Eso, porro. O
Mm-hmm.
porro es música y porro es un
Rhythm
bareto.
or
Sí,
Uh-huh.
sí, algo así.
Right, right.
Como pitillo. Pitillo en Colombia es un pitillo, pero en Chile es un porro.
Okay.
Oh my God. The
Okay.
word pluma, that maybe in Barranquilla or in like different parts of Colombia, it is like the water supply, and here in Bogota, this is just like a part of the of a wing.
Oh, that's
Mm. Okay. But now, it is understandable then that there is a difference between, in terms of meaning, literal meaning. Yes, something that you can find, you go to the dictionary and you find the meaning from the dictionary maybe, and the conventionalized meaning, right? That it belongs to the semantic proper, so it is very dependent from the context, right? The literal meaning is independent of the context. Yeah, so it is very clear now. We have to look for examples in English because I don't know. I don't know. Yes, maybe grant. When you are talking about money also, you say grant. Dog.
dough,
Oh,
teacher.
yes, dog.
In New York City, they say dough to mean money,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
dough
yeah, yeah.
is refers
Masa.
to masa. Yeah.
Yes, very good. That's very clear as well. Yes, and there are many, many things about that. Yeah. So sometimes, for the reason, sometimes we don't understand the jokes because we don't understand the conventionalized meaning. Yes, some jokes. Right. Okay. Here we have sentence, expression, meaning. Can you listen to me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I have some problems with this. Okay. It corresponds to phrasal meaning or sense. Let me see. What do you say? Yes, yes. Okay. So, here. Read the three sentences here. If you read the three sentences, hello. Okay, right. If you read the three sentences, can you understand the meaning?
No.
No? If you say need bicycle content words, need bicycle, only need bicycle, because you are reading
Familia
on the,
something,
Uh,
but I don't know.
right. I don't know
maybe
your, sorry?
or maybe if you say need bicycle, uh, just need bicycle. That's it means or implies that somebody or someone needs bicycle, but you don't know who. So
But,
it's but
yeah.
that something is needed. Like No, bicycle is needed.
Mm-hmm. But the thing here is that the sentence starts with don't. So the implication that you say is not correct. I mean, the interpretation is good, but it doesn't correspond to the implication of this sentence that is here, right? So only with the content words, it's not understandable, or the meaning of the sentence is not understandable, or only with the function words, it is not understandable, right? So the thing is that we need like the composition of the lexemes, the correct lexemes in order to understand the whole sentence. Yeah, so the phrasal needs to be connected, and the ideas must be connected, right? So this sentence expression meaning is context independent. For example, I don't need your bicycle, it is understandable. If you are in a context or if you are not in the context, you understand the sentence, right? The meaning of content words are concepts. It describes what it refers to. So the content words, remember, that are those like are nouns, verbs, mm, uh, adjectives, adverbs, and the function words are those that are like the pronouns, the auxiliaries, this is an adjective, okay. So the meaning of function words contributes to describe the meaning of the sentence. So only the content words cannot make meaning usually, okay? It is not a rule, but usually they don't make meaning uh, alone in isolation. You need also the function words in order to understand. Okay. Here we have the description of the sentence, the phrasal meaning, and each one of the meanings, right? Each one of the explanations. So sentence, phrasal meaning. But the explanation or the meaning in isolation doesn't make sense if they are not all together. It is what we have here. We can define each one of the words, but if we have everything together, it is easier. Okay. Uncovering the knowledge of meanings of words and sentences are revealing its nature are the central objectives of semantics. So this is the objective. Uncovering the knowledge of the meaning of the words and sentences and revealing its nature. Right? So first, determine the meaning of this sentence. I like your shirt. What is the meaning of that sentence?
That the speaker is feeling an emotion when he sees the object.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Yeah, right? So we can define and we can understand this one, okay? Very good. And even we can define each one of the words as in the example here, right? But only when you put them together, we understand the meaning of the sentence. Mhm. Utterance meaning. So remember that the utterance is something that someone says. So the meaning that results from using an expression in a given context of utterance. Context of utterance is COU. So the COU is the sum of circumstances that bear on reference and truth. So the circumstances that are implied in this construction of meaning of the utterance are the speaker, the addressees or the recipients. So it means who receives the utterance, the time, the place, and the facts. Those are like the circumstances that can provide the meaning in an utterance, right? So the same example. I don't need your bicycle. Remember that we understood the sentence and we could explain the sentence from the semantics. But as it is could be part of something that someone says or a part of the text, it is different. Okay, so he says the meaning which results if the sentence is uttered in a specific scenario. So we have here the situation one or the subject one. Okay, could you please read Arley?
Since the beginning,
Yep. No, no.
since
Here.
Num
since sentence
The
number
one,
bullet.
right?
situation,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So situation one. August the 1st of 1996 morning. Mary has been planning a trip to town that afternoon. 2 days before, she talked with her neighbor John about the trip and asked him to lend her his bike for the trip. She had lent her car to her daughter and didn't know if she would get it back in time. Meanwhile, her daughter is back and has returned Mary's car, and Mary's talking with John on her mobile, telling him uh, embedded within
Embedded.
the usual small embedded
Embedded.
embedded within the usual small talk.
Okay. Remember what are the features or characteristics that we need in order to define the circumstances of the utterance? At the circumstances that we need the context of the utterance, we need the speaker, the addressee, the recipient, the time, the place, the facts, right? Remember that. So in general, the context. So can you identify these five aspects in here?
Yeah, so the speaker,
Who's the speaker?
Mary,
Mary.
no,
just because she's the main person of the.
but she's not the person who's having the utterance. Maybe she's the person that someone else is talking about, but
But
we don't see that she is the person that is speaking.
okay, but pay attention to
Yeah.
the 2 points and pay attention that there is sorry here I think that it is not, but like quotation marks. So when we have quotation marks, it implies that that's the utterance of someone, right? What is the context
Yeah.
of this one? What is the situation? What is the time? What is the fact? What are the facts? Sorry.
Time
We
is
have,
August 1996.
yeah,
The speaker is Mary, who's speaking to John, and well, I just forgot the other ones.
Two
here
days
the
before, she
time of
speaks
the,
a bike.
mm-hmm,
The recipient is John.
mm-hmm, okay,
And the facts when they are talking about like the different situations with the cars and the
yeah,
transportation.
and pay attention to this fact. She lent her car to her daughter and didn't know if she will get it back in time.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Meanwhile, her daughter is back and has returned Mary's car. So Mary has
Mary
already her
doesn't
car.
need the bicycle anymore because
Exactly,
she has her car already. So she says, "I don't need your bicycle." It also means I have my car back.
exactly.
Yes.
So Mary is talking to John and says that. So you can see the implication of this sentence has to do with the whole circumstances. If we don't have the whole like context, we couldn't understand why she says this thing, right? Okay, let's see another situation. I don't need your bike. we have here situation 2. Okay, can you read please? I don't know, Noemi. Could you please read the situation 2?
Okay. Same time and place. John's 5-year-old daughter, Maggie, is playing at home with her 5-year-old friend, Titus. They are playing with a game of cars that display all kinds of vehicles. Titus is in the possession of a car that shows a snowmobile. Maggie is eager to exchange this car for one of hers and offers Titus a car with a bicycle. Titus rejects the exchange, saying,
What does he say? I don't need your bicycle.
okay, saying I don't need your bicycle. Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
this is what Titus says. So could you please,
Okay,
do you understand the whole context of the utterance? So the speaker
yes.
now, who's the speaker?
The speaker is Titus
Titus. Here,
because he rejects.
yes, who's the
Yes,
recipient?
Maggie.
Maggie.
Man is the recipient. Okay, what is the time?
Same time and date from before.
Yes, very good. But what are the facts?
They're exchanging
They're,
cards as part of the
Yes,
game.
right.
playing a game.
Pay
Okay.
attention then that the same utterance here has different meanings because of the context, right? So this is part of the pragmatics. This is pragmatic analysis, right? If we analyze this semantically, we understand what is the meaning of that. But we only understand the real meaning or the real implication of this sentence analyzing the context. And this is pragmatics, right? Because only context of the utterance determines the meaning of the sentence, right? The same sentence to different scenarios. And here there is an explanation. The word meaning of bicycle, the meaning of bicycle here is shifted to fit the given context. It means the expression meaning may be subject to certain kinds of meaning shifts. So this shift depends on the context. It's very important. That's very important. Yeah, to analyze utterances. Okay. So utterance means speaker, meaning, and context. What a speaker means when they say something over and above the literal meaning, this is, or these and other contextual effects belong to pragmatics. So here we have two different aspects. What the speaker says or means when they say something over and above the literal meaning. Over and above means that it is not only referring to the literal meaning, but to other things that they want to imply. And here, these and other contextual effects belong to pragmatics. Okay, and we here have this expression, oh, well done, pass it over here. You understand the expression, but what is missing? What is missing in this expression? The context. Exactly. So if we say this in a determined context, it could be or it could have a different meaning. Okay. So here we have the first situation. The son says, "I fixed the toy," and that says, "Oh, well done. Pass it over here." Yes. And Jane says, "Sorry, I think I've broken it." And Bob says, "Oh, well done. Pass it over here." So the same sentence,
Has the opposite.
Has a
yes,
different intention.
different intention because the context is different. Yes, but the meaning could be the same if we talk about the literal meaning.
Hmm.
Yes,
But it's different.
exactly. Okay, questions? Any questions so far? No questions?
No, teacher.
Okay, let's continue. Let me see because I don't know who wrote. No teacher. Okay, very good. Let me see. Okay, okay, more examples. Would you like something to eat? I've just had lunch. The number 7 says, how was that new restaurant you went to last night? The walls were a nice color. So these ones, the walls were, what you have here is different sentences answering the questions. But if you only read this sentence, the answer, in a not contextualized scenario, maybe we are not going to talk, we are not going to know what they are talking about, right? So there is an implied meaning, and it is called implicature. So this sentence implies something. Implies, for example, the last one, that they are talking about the restaurant, and the restaurant is new, right? This is the implicature of this one. And in this sentence, they are talking about an invitation. They are rejecting an invitation of eating something, right? So that's the implicature of that. This is an aspect that has to do mm, with pragmatics as well. Yeah. Okay. Another example. So, did you like the food? You made great black coffee. To successfully analyze meaning as used by a speaker of a language, we need to distinguish various aspects of a communicative situation. Here, pay attention to this. If we analyze this like dialogue in here, so did you like the food? You made great black coffee. What is the implicature of this sentence?
That the person doesn't cook well.
Yes, very good. That is the implicature, you see? But if you read this only in isolation, you are not going to understand the implicature of the sentence. Okay? Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me see something. We have many. Okay, I don't want to continue with these things so far because I think that it is too much information, and I think that for today that's enough, right? So maybe next class, next Monday, we can continue listening, reading and analyzing more aspects of semantics and pragmatics that are related to the meaning, because the meaning is the most important aspect of semantics and pragmatics, right? In the different levels that we have already analyzed. Yeah. Uh, Remember that next week or this week you have to send by the end of the week the workshop. This is something important. And the other important thing is that you have to establish the groups in order to make the presentation. The presentation then is going to be on May the 28th. That is a Monday, right? This is a Monday. So this is May the 28th. We have here the platform. Oh, let me see. Here in the platform, as you can see, I wrote oral presentation in here. It is very important that you attend and to this class because this is one of the grades that we are going to have. And in case that you cannot do it because of different reasons, you have to do it on a video and you have to send the link of the video. So anyway, you have to prepare the video beforehand in the case of people who know, if you know that you're not going to come, okay? It is better. So I can play the video in the class and we can see what you say, okay? We can share the information, but don't do that after, do that before. It is better.
Teacher, I'm sorry. I think I didn't get that because I had a broken connection. So you're saying that only those who cannot attend should record the video for the class, but the rest will do
Yes,
it live.
yes, that's what I
Okay.
said.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I said because I understand that some people have some, I don't know, uh, some things to do, right? So it's because of that. This is this is on Monday the 28th, so you have the time for doing that video and explaining the things that you have to explain. But I want to listen to you, right? Questions about the activities that we have to do. So I have here like the plan, the forum that you are participating, in which you are participating. Sorry, you have been actively participating. The exercise about sense, reference, and truth. That is the one that we have been developed, and this is the presentation for the next class. Yeah. So next Monday we are going to continue with the presentation. I don't want to overwhelm you with a lot of information, so that's why I think that it is enough. Okay? If you don't have any other question, we can finish our class for today.
Teacher,
Yes?
sorry, I have a question. We need to send the video before the class or just present it in the class?
Noemi, are you going to attend to the class?
Yes.
You don't need to make a video.
Okay.
You are going to present your work live. Okay? Just send me the presentation and you speak live.
Perfect.
Okay? Any other question?
So are just examples of sense, reference, and truth, right?
Yes.
Like,
Examples.
okay.
Yes, we don't need the definition, we need examples. And maybe a difficult example in order to understand better the sense, reference, and truth. Yep. Any other question? Hmm, okay. Carlos Eduardo, everything is clear. It is clear, Francisco says, and
How
Milena,
many
okay,
slides,
teacher.
teacher? for the PowerPoint presentation. Just
Mm, you
a lot
know,
of time.
I don't have like a limit. It depends on you. If you can do everything in one slide, do it.
Oh, I was asking because of the allotted time for every single participant.
Yes.
So
We 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 said how much time do we have for the presentation?
No.
I haven't checked that part yet.
Okay. So it depends also on the kind of the number of groups that we have. How many groups do we have? Let me see. Let me copy this. Okay. Who are you going to work with? And then I know how many groups do we have. So Wilton, for example, who are you going to work with? Giancarlo, who are you going to work with? Noemi and Lina.
I don't know yet. I'm looking for
Me neither,
Okay.
partner.
teacher. I
Okay.
haven't decided yet.
Eduardo and Blanca. Okay. Jean.
Okay, I can work with LA. I've worked with them before, so yeah,
Yes,
I'll work
Ale,
with.
Ale is asking you to work
Yeah,
with.
yeah, because we've worked before, but I just didn't remember he was here.
Okay, Jean and Arley. So we have three. Wilton. Who else is here? Noemi and Lina. Sandra. Who are you going to work with? Flor and Joanna. Joanna, Flor. Francisco. Who are you going to work with?
I guess Sandra and Liliana, if they want.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Ah, okay, teacher.
Liliana. You have your groups, right?
Yes, I'm going into work with Francisco and Sandra.
Okay, right. Don't worry. So we have five groups so far. I don't know who's missing. Okay, Wilton. Wilton is looking for a group.
Teacher, I don't know. Maybe who
Don't
can.
worry, Wilton. You can look for a group during these
Okay.
days. We have here two people. There are other two people who are not in the group today. So we have more or less six groups, seven groups. Okay. So if we have seven groups, oof, do you think that 7 minutes is enough for the presentation? Okay, Lina. Um, Wilton, Lina says that you can work with them, with Noemi and Lina. Do you want? Okay. I think that 7 minutes for the presentation because we are too many. Okay, so I can give you feedback, or if you need more time, okay, I can give you maximum 7 minutes. Doesn't it should be less. Is it clear?
Yes.
So if it is 7 minutes, maybe 3 slides are enough, more than enough, because you have to explain the examples. 3 to 4 slides, and that's it. That's it. Yep. Yeah. One per each feature. Sense, reference, and truth. Because it is only one example of each one. So you can use one per each one, and maybe another one for the presentation or something. Mhm. Yes, that's true, Giancarlo. Very good. Okay, and I spent 2 minutes explaining each one of the examples, and that's it. Yep, agree. Okay, very good. Okay, people. So remember, this presentation is for the 28th. So you have 1 week and a half, more or less. Okay, next Monday we are going to have the class here. So please continue working on the videos, on the readings, and on the workshop. Okay, and see you next Monday. If you don't have if you don't have any other question, I can say goodbye. Good night.
Good night, teacher. Thank you so much.
Good night. Let
Bye,
me see the
teacher. Have a
chat.
good one.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Bye,
night.
teacher.
I hope so.
Everyone.
Goodbye. Good night.
One night.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.